Welcome. This is a brief presentation on how to write a definition essay. And this information is adapted from Subject and Strategy, 14th edition. So we have some different types of definitions, and one of them is formal. The others are synonymous, negative, etymological, stipulative, and extended. Extended is the type that you will be writing for your essay because it extends beyond just a 1 or 2 sentence definition. It's going to be an entire essay of a few pages. So let's look first at formal definitions. These are the kind of definitions we find in a dictionary, and they're comprised of the term, so the word that you're looking up, the class, which is the category that the term belongs to, and the differentiation, which tells us how this term is different than other terms in the same class. So for example, we could say a sandal is an open-toed shoe with straps that is worn outdoors, often at the beach. So that differentiation tells us how a sandal is different than other types of shoes, such as a boot or high heel, etc. Then we have synonymous definitions. And this type of definition explains a word by pairing it with another word that has similar meaning. And we know that words that have similar meanings are synonyms. So we could explain what happiness is by giving some synonyms. We could say happiness is joy, happiness is pleasure, happiness is contentment, happiness is bliss. Negative definitions explain a word by telling what it does not mean. Intelligence is not ignorance. Humor is not being somber. Wealth is not being poor. Failure is not success. Then we have etymological definitions, and this type of definition gives the origin of a word, which is its etymology. And we'll see this type of definition along with formal definitions in the dictionary. So if we look up the word felicity, which means happiness, we might see that felicity is from the Latin felicitas, equivalent to felicid, or the stem of felix, happy plus tas or t. Music is from the Greek music, or techne, meaning the art of the muse. Sentiment is from medieval Latin sentimentum, equivalent to Latin senti or sentir, to feel, plus mentum or ment. Shameful is from Old English scamful. Stipulative definitions. This type is a definition invented by a writer to convey a special or unexpected sense of an existing and often familiar word. So if we're defining the word music, we have an idea of what music is, but we could ask these musicians what music is to them. And the first one, Edward McDowell, says, music is a language, but a language of the intangible, a kind of soul language. So he's explaining what music means to him. We could ask the musician Claude Debussy, and he might say music is the arithmetic of sounds. So he's explaining what music means to him. And then we get to extended definitions. So an extended definition requires a full discussion. So it's more than just a sentence or two, or even a paragraph. Here we're giving you're going to give a full essay of definition. So an extended definition may use formal, synonymous, negative, etymological, and/or stipulative definitions. It might use all of those types, or it might just use one or two of those types. It all depends on what you want. An extended definition will also use different writing strategies, such as description. So when we're defining the word sandal, we might have a description of what a sandal looks like. We would describe the straps and the heel and so on. We might use the writing strategy illustration, which gives examples, as in examples of situations in which people are happy, if we're trying to define happiness. We could use comparison and contrast, as in comparing music with language when we're describing or defining music. We could use classification, going back to defining sandal, as in listing different types of footwear. We might even use cause and effect, as in discussing what causes someone to have intelligence or what the effects of being intelligent might be, and so on. So here is an extended definition. This is E.B. White's definition of democracy from the New Yorker, July 3rd, 1943. So this was during World War II. He said, "We received a letter from the Writers' War Board the other day asking for a statement on the meaning of democracy. It presumably is our duty to comply with such a request, and it is certainly our pleasure. Surely the board knows what democracy is. It is the line that forms on the right. It is the don't and don't shove. Democracy is the recurrent suspicion that more than half the people are right more than half of the time. It is the feeling of privacy in voting booths, the feeling of communion in libraries, the feeling of vitality everywhere. Democracy is a letter to the editor. Democracy is the score at the beginning of the ninth. It is an idea which hasn't been disproved yet, a song the words of which have not gone bad. It is the mustard on the hot dog and the cream in the rationed coffee. Democracy is a request from the war board in the middle of the morning, in the middle of a war, wanting to know what democracy is." So this, as I said, is an example of an extended definition, and you are writing an extended definition. So the way that you get from just a one or two sentence definition to several paragraphs to a full essay is by using all these different types of definitions and by using different writing strategies. And make sure that you read through the prompt, because it gives you specific things that you need to include, such as examples. I want to see several examples of the use of whatever word it is you're defining. So that might be the use of the word in a newspaper article, or the use of the word in a television show, or in a meme on social media. And you're also going to be describing why you feel that the current definition is accurate, or why you find it questionable or inaccurate. So hopefully this helps you write your definition essay and gives you an example and an idea of how you can do that. Thank you.